Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Pow Block, episode 187, right? 87. I am one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, amid the coronavirus crisis, is that retro code, Eddie V.
We have been blessed with games. Yes. Hello, everybody.
Ed, remember just a week and a half ago when we recorded our last episode? By the way, sorry everybody, this episode's late. Look, before we even get into all this, right? Coronavirus is taking over the world. We're all going to get it. We're all going to cough, and we're all going to, whatever. We've had some work and schedule issues, so our shows may not always come out on time. We're going to get a show out every week. It just might not be on time. That's across the board on all of our shows. So if you can just bear with us during this time of crisis, we still want to bring the news to your ears. We still want to talk about Nintendo. We still want to talk about everything on the other shows too, right? But
yes,
just bear with us as we get this coronavirus crap out of the way, and we're not going anywhere. We're still going to talk games. We're still going to talk Nintendo. Just might be on time for your feeds. So, plus Ed and I are planning to do a couple other things on the feeds when we can, and when things happen. So, if you follow Boss Rush Games on Twitter, you saw the couple things that we're working on. Plus, there might be a lot more podcasting if we have a nation shutdown or a statewide shutdown or whatever.
Yeah, a nationwide shutdown because there are places in different cities that is on lockdown.
I know. So, Ed. By the way, I don't know if you've listened to any podcasts from like Game Informer or IGN or any of these other places. It's amazing how many people don't know how to podcast remotely. Right? Because they're usually in a big room. We've been podcasting remotely for 4, 5, 6 years now, and it's we know how it works, right? It's just hilarious listening because it's just kind of uncomfortable because they don't know how to they don't know if they should wait for somebody to respond. There might be a slight delay before somebody responds, and it's just man, you guys need taught up. So,
that's what happens when you have other people doing the behind the scenes production,
right? Yeah. So, but anyways, I just want to let everybody know, everybody's going to go through a rough patch here or there somewhere, right? And I think video games are a great way to keep your mind off of that. And we still want to deliver the podcast so you can keep your mind off of it just a little bit longer. We're not here to fix anybody's problems or tell you to forget about problems, because life has problems, right? We're all going through it. We worried about if we're going to get to go to work the next day, or if somebody's going to have a job the next day or whatever, right? But just to keep your mind off of it, we're here to bring you the joy of Nintendo, and Nintendo brings us joy, and that's that's what we're gonna do, and that's what we're gonna keep doing. And with Ed, you and I talked about doing some extra things. So what we're gonna do, I want to kind of get it out of the way. We're not going to do any of this housekeeping and stuff. I will go over the giveaway details because we're still going to do that, especially now with everybody kind of needing something to have positive in their life, right? So you and I have talked about doing more than just Nintendo Pow Block on this feed, right?
Yes.
We want to bring back Expansion Pack, which we will. We're still kind of discussing how we want to do that and what we want to do about that. But it's going to be similar to what we used to do back in the day. So look forward to Expansion Pack maybe once a week, maybe once every other week. I would like to do it once a week, so there's 2 shows going up on this feed every week. The direct recap shows coming back. We're gonna do that. Maybe a couple practice runs with the previous directs from this year. We're gonna try to figure out a good way to handle that. So if you hear like the Smash Direct or the Pokemon Direct or the Animal Crossing Direct stuff come up, like it's just for us to get in the flow of the show again, right? Because we haven't done it in almost a year.
and it's good to see what was announced and what is actually available.
Yeah.
Now that you see it and you have it, just like, wow. Because before we go on, I was actually watching the Indie Direct from December before this new Direct, and I was just like, oh man, all of these games, they're not out yet, but I just remember some of the games that got announced and that did come out that were so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're gonna cover the Indie World Showcase that was Tuesday, I think. Monday, Tuesday. It was one of those days. I think it was Tuesday. We're gonna go over that tonight. But and then the last thing, we're still really early talks, but we want to do a show called Now Loading, which is maybe like a once a month, almost a book club style thing where we go back and play through an older Nintendo game and kind of discuss it and does it hold up? Does it, is it every, like, you know what I mean? Like, we just kind of like a nostalgic type thing, and it's almost like a podcast version of the retro game show, which will be coming back also in the near future. We've just been busy. I mean, people know, right? I mean, it's hard to keep up with everything that we want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but that's something that we've been talking about doing too. So that's kind of a little bit of an update of what's going to come to the Nintendo Pow Block podcast feed. Also, for some reason, when we made the transfer, only about, I don't know, 100 or so episodes made it over. So you're going to see some old episodes start popping up on your feed soon, just because I want to have them all on here for you to listen to. Even if you don't care, they're gonna start popping up. So just, they'll be backdated and everything. So
yes,
but yeah, I want to make sure everything's on here. And like I said, Nintendo Pow Block is mine and Ed's baby. Boss Rush Games is the umbrella, right? We love everything that we're doing here, but Pow Block is our baby. We want to do more content within the Pow Block framework, and this is, I think, our first step into doing that. So, yeah. Anyways.
Yes.
So any thoughts, Ed? Anything you want to add to that?
I'm really excited. Of course, we're going to do the retro show. We'll be coming back to that because we got to get through Super Metroid. But I'm really excited for Now Loading because, we kind of been talking about a lot of games from the past and some stuff in our backlog, and it would be good to like play them kind of in a how to play fashion, but in the sense that we get to certain points in the game and we come together and just have a discussion about that game, kind of talk about its greatness, some of its strengths, its weakness, what makes it a classic or not. And it's also going to be great exposure for you guys as the viewers in case of you've been wondering about a game or you kind of realize some similarities in another game and stuff. Being able to hear that discussion and everything. So I'm really excited for Now Loading. And of course, expansion packs.
And we will,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say for Now Loading, like, we're gonna tell you what the game is that we're doing for that month. That way you guys can play along and get questions in about it and everything. It's something that we've talked about, like a book club style show we've been wanting to do for a while, and
yes,
it's I think it's gonna be a cool thing.
And in case of anybody is doing the game for their backlog, for the Boss Rush backlog challenge, you get points. Yeah. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. So that should be fun. And then you were talking about expansion pack before we started.
Yeah.
Before I interrupted you.
Yeah, because those are kind of like our deep conversations, our ideas that's bouncing around, and sometimes just that one topic we could focus on and view on, and just like I said, bounce off each other. Like, of course, I'll talk about the Helldiver Metroid game, the way that we had that Breath of the Wild trilogy talk, like that's a good example of an expansion pass for those who are listening for the first time, where we just deep dive, and sometimes it's supposed to be 10-15 minutes and it end up being the podcast itself for 45 minutes or more. But having those great conversations about one thing is going to be really good to have like that, have that focus on. So I really am looking forward to a lot of new things to be coming.
Yeah. I'm really excited to do expansion pass, or expansion pack. I don't know why I keep saying expansion pass. Expansion pack on that Zelda trilogy that we were talking about, and
yes,
some Metroid stuff, but also like I kind of want to do an now loading on Breath of the Wild, because I've been really getting the itch to play that again, and I've been playing The Witcher. Which is kind of scratching that itch, but then I also loaded up Breath of the Wild right after, and I was like, oh man, I just want to play this again. So maybe that'll be one. So, and I think that'll be a good one to do right before Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, or whatever it's going to be called.
Yes.
So,
and everybody, I'm making moves in Breath of the Wild. I will leave it at that.
I'll believe you when you post that screenshot in the Facebook group. I'll just put it there. Yeah, anyways, we're not going to do a lot of housekeeping today, but I do want to make sure that everybody remembers the giveaway. The giveaway, we were planning to give 3 giveaways through episode 200. The first giveaway will be during episode 190. The second during episode 195, and of course the third being during episode 200. The rules are simple. Email the show at nintendopowblock@gmail.com with a screenshot of your podcast subscription and the episode you're listening to. A screenshot of your rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify will grant you a second entry. It is that simple. The first giveaway is, of course, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and that will be in just 3 short weeks. So get your entries in, everybody. We have 2 entries. So yeah, thanks guys. Get them in. So Ed, it's been a while since we talked. What are you playing? Anything interesting or new or exciting or fun, or are you not playing anything?
Of course I'm playing something.
Yeah, I know.
3000th Duel. This is a game that I talked about a little bit with Nindy Nation, and I've been getting a little bit further in this game. And it has that Metroidvania Dark Soul itch, and I keep coming back to it. I'm at a boss. I'm like on my 3rd boss, and I get close to where I need to get like maybe 2 more hits off of him. But I keep messing up, and I keep end up dying. But I really enjoyed this game. I'm having so much fun. It's the graceful explosion machine feeling that I get. Be like, I could do this. I could get him. I could just take my time and just beat him. Don't be in such a hurry. But that's the one I'm kind of focusing on. Like I said, I finished Murders by Numbers. I need to get back into Snack World. Need to do that. Need to get into Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX. And I just like really want to finish that. Like really work on that. Playing Breath of the Wild, getting some of that stuff done. But I picked up the Trials of Mana demo, and this game may probably be in my nomination for Game of the Year. It's one of the most camptastic RPGs that I have play. I have been laughing. I have been enjoying the voice acting. the story is kind of goofy. He like this doesn't make sense, but so be it. But the combat is so solid and so good. Like grinding in that game is going to be fun to do. Like it really is good, and it has that Dragon Quest style look to it, appearance, but it works so well, and I'm just like, yeah, I need to buy this when it comes out, day one purchase. Like it really is good, And if people don't have a Switch, it is available on PS4. If you guys want to play it there, but yeah, this Trials of Mana game. Like just this demo, they said you only level up to level 7. When you finish the demo, everything that you've done carries over into the next game. Not next game. It actually carries over to the final game if you decide to pick it up. So, it, like I said, it's a great game, very fantastic. And I was just like, what? I'm like, that needs to be a new genre. Can't be PG or something like Camp PG or something like that, where it's just these over the top, ridiculous JRPGs or RPGs in general that just makes you laugh. Got crazy dialogue, but you just enthralled of what you're seeing and what you're playing. So pretty much that's what I've been playing on Switch. I did pick up another game on Switch, but I don't have my Switch by me to look it up. But pretty much that's what I've been playing on Switch. So
nice. For me on Switch, it's been a lot of The Witcher, honestly. I don't know, man. I just haven't, the last couple of weeks, I just haven't really found anything that's really grabbed me. I've been trying like a whole bunch of different things. Like I've been playing some indies. I've been playing some sports games on Xbox. I've been playing a bunch of different things, and there's just nothing that's really like grabbing me and keeping my attention. I've been distracted obviously by this coronavirus thing, but like, I've been really playing The Witcher. Honestly, it's scratching that Zelda itch. It's exactly, I think, not exactly what I wanted, but it really scratches that itch in terms of open world kind of. Let's go explore and do whatever and help, solve quests that, if you see a cart on this, like the other day I was on my way to this main quest and I saw an exclamation point on the side of the road. And so I went up to this house that was where the exclamation point was, and there was this old lady standing outside looking inside the window, and she had sworn her pan her cooking pan had been stolen and it was in this house. So I went, like, I had to break into this house and get her pan, and like it turns out it wasn't even her pan at all. She just really wanted it, and like I had to like convince her to give it back because it wasn't really hers. And it was just like this weird interaction I had, but it was cool. It was fun. And also I'm like 6 hours into the game, I think, and I haven't even gotten to the first kind of main quest. Like, I mean, I'm on
continue off from Pod and Play for episode.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I like the first main quest is to like kill the Griffin, right? And that's you can do that within the first 45 minutes of the game. I've just been off doing a bunch of other quests and side quests and gathering resources to, craft armor and stuff. And I have like 2 or 3 wiki guides open at a time looking at stuff. And it's just like, it's giving me that, it's scratching that Zelda itch in a different way. And it's nice, it's kind of nice. I've been playing it on Switch too, and it runs really well, honestly. Like I don't know if I would play it on any other system. I just love, I like when I lay in bed, I'll play for an hour before I fall asleep, and then I'll, play it again the next night, and then I'll play it again the next night. It's like, it's a nice bed game, like to lay in bed and just roam around and go do something for an hour. And it's really fun, man. It's taken over that time for Tetris, because Tetris is always the game that I play before I go to bed, and so I've been playing a lot of that. I've been playing some Axiom Verge I re-downloaded and wanted to play again because 2's coming out, and I don't know, man. I've been really I've wanted to play some more games that are. I have a list of backlog games that I've been wanting to play, and I have an indie list, obviously, and a first party and a third party list for Nintendo specifically, and it's really fun to go back and explore some of these games that had a lot of hype. And Axiom Verge is a game I almost finished, and then I put it down for some reason, and I started playing something else and never finished. Like I was probably like 5 or 6 hours into that game, which I was probably almost done with it at that point, and I just so
PS4 for me with Axiom Verge, I think I'm like 20% that I need to do, and then I'm done with the game. Just stopped.
Yeah. So I've been playing some of that. I've also been playing some new Super Mario Brothers on Switch. So, but I mean, it's mainly just been The Witcher. I've been wanting to go back to Zelda. The Shovel Knight Showdown, like the collection, I still haven't put it in my system. It's still in the wrap. I know, and I honestly forgot about Shovel Knight King of Cards for a while too. Like that's a game I need to get back to too. But I've also been I've met my parents the other day to get some old stuff because if this coronavirus shuts us down for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or however long it is, I've been wanting to hook up some old game stuff, so I grabbed a bunch of stuff from them, and I've been trying to reorganize everything and I've been trying to find everything that I've had put away for so long. So that's it's not much that I've been playing, but that's kind of just how I've been spending my time. So I've also been just going to bed early. So
yeah, that's been like I've been wanting to say hi to you. You'd be like, I'm in bed right now. Dude, it's only 8:30.
Dude, the last 3 nights in a row I've been in bed before 10 o'clock. It's been kind of nice. So it's just, I mean, I don't want to keep talking about this coronavirus stuff, but it's been a tough week on us in trying to create a game plan in case A, B, C, D scenarios happen, and gaming has kind of been put aside in a serious way. I've been playing games, but it's more like a distraction than I'm actually enjoying playing games right now. So
I think that's one of the great things about Switch is that yes, you got this big library, yes, you get to travel on the go, but if you were stuck in a house and you can't really go nowhere or really do anything, just being able to be in the bed and play a game, or watch YouTube or Hulu on Switch, just to have that ease of access right there is kind of really benefiting. You really wouldn't think this would be something we would need 3 years ago when the system came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I like I said, the Switch is my primary console for a multitude of reasons, and this is just another reason to add to that. Also, I've been playing a few games off of Switch. We talked about Planet Coaster before we started recording, and that's kind of another game that I've been trying to really figure out and deep dive into because I've been wanting a roller coaster tycoon-esque game for a long time.
Same here.
And not the garbage that they put on Switch.
That's what I was to say.
Dude, that was the worst purchase that's the out of all the games I've purchased on Switch, that's the most regrettable purchase, I think. I think it's not that I had high expectations, but I thought it was going to be better than that, dude. It's just,
It's huge.
it is not good. It is not good. So I've been Planet Coaster has been something that's been recommended to me over time, and I finally downloaded it off of Steam since I'm running Windows off of this computer now, and it's overwhelming how much you can do in this game. You know, I like just learning the terrain tools was like, whoa, like whoa. So I mean, I've probably put like 6 or 7 hours into it, and I have barely scratched the surface of this game. I am really enjoying it. So
Yeah,
there's oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I am planning to get this game for Xbox One when it comes out.
Yeah,
'Cause
I will also be getting it for Xbox when it comes out. I couldn't wait any longer. You know, it's just one of those games. I couldn't wait.
I want to design roller coasters again, dude. I miss that so much.
Yeah, I actually have found myself like taking scrap pieces of paper and like trying to figure out, okay, how's my entrance going to be? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? Am I going to, you know, I've downloaded some other people's parks. I have watched real ride throughs where people have actually built true to form rides. Like I watched someone build a Splash Mountain from Walt Disney World, and it's like, this is literally spot on. Like it's spot on. And then I saw some people built some old rides that used to be at the Six Flags park that's no longer here by my, like there used to be a Six Flags real close to where I live, and it closed probably 10, 12 years at this point. And people were making rides from Cedar Point, which is a popular amusement park where close to where I live. So there's people on there, man, that are just making just straight up parks that already exist on there, and they're like spot on. So it's cool.
I really wish I still have my Six Flags Great America map back from the 80s, because they had it was a cartoon comic style kind of drawing, but they designed the roller coasters. You could see it like top view in a sense, and they designed roller coasters the way that the ride goes, and it was really cool.
Yeah, they had at Cedar Point, the big thing everybody used to buy when everybody used to go to Cedar Point was their what was it called? It was like a souvenir map, I think is what they were called.
Yeah.
They were like $40 for a map, and it's like, are you kidding me? But it was like this big, like 40 by 26 map of the park, and it was all done in like a cartoonish, maybe comic bookish style, you know. So it was cool.
Maybe it's on Google Images. Maybe if you type it in,
I'm sure it's on there. So yeah, I mean that's kind of all I've been playing though. It's been an experimental time in gaming, I would say, for me this week. So, or probably like last 2 weeks, honestly. So, yeah. So why don't we get into some of these news bits here? So the Indie World Showcase happened, and I'm sure you have a boatload of notes for that.
yes,
There were quite a few interesting games that I saw there. What were some of these games that were standouts? I know Exit the Gungeon, a lot of people were looking forward to. You pointed out Blue Fire, which is kind of like a 3D platforming action game.
Yeah.
It looks really cool, had cool music. That Baldo game that was announced.
Yes, that Baldo game was a must-have. I'm like, this is like.
Yep. I mean, that was
wow.
announced. That was announced what, like last summer, I think. Because Jesse pointed it out to me. Because it looks like Ni no Kuni is what it looks like.
Yes.
It looks like if somebody made a Zelda game with Ni no Kuni's art style. Is what it looks like.
And dude, like if that game is $30 or $40, I'm paying it.
Yeah.
Like it deserves it. And before we get more into the Direct, I have got to give it to Nintendo for really making this Direct international. to where there's different people around the world making games, and I'm just like, I love to see more of this. Like, continue to show us developers who want to bring games around the world to this platform. You know, it's just not American, or some kind of Japanese company we never heard of. It's a lot of people behind a lot of great games coming to Switch in the indie market, and it was just so good to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, definitely. And also the Pixel Junk Eden 2 is coming to Switch as well, which was
I really questioned that one, because I was just like, I'm not feeling the music, but I think I would give it a try. I don't know what it was that just like, the music thing is important to me, and I'm not feeling the track.
Yeah, I mean, that one stuck out to me because Pixel Junk has always been a PlayStation series, and the fact that they're moving it over to Switch is kind of not a big deal, but it's an interesting change for that company. I think it's because Sony isn't really embracing indies like they used to, and this is where they can, because this series became really big on PSP, I think. With Pixel Junk Shooter, I think, was the first one.
Yeah,
Pixel Junk Monsters was another one. So, I think that's a smart choice for them.
Another one that I liked, I Am Dead and Bark by TikTok Games. I like the fact that the two ladies came out and introduced this game. It was pretty cool. But I Am Dead really has some beautiful animation and music. And I was just like, this is interesting. I want to see where this goes. I was just like, it's not for me. I'll put it on my wish list. But then I went back and looked at it and just like, you know what? This is very interesting. And I'm here for it. So I may get that. That Cyanide Happiness, I was just like, I could do without that. Mm-hmm. That didn't do nothing for me. Summer and Mara was a nice one. Quantum League was kind of cool. I like Quantum League's premise. That,
Is that the Halo Portal multiplayer shooter type thing? Or is this a different thing? Hold on. I'll just watch the trailer real quick. Because, I remember there was a game that was announced maybe this past summer. And it was like a Halo meets Portal type shooter.
I think that's it.
Oh, this is the rewinding thing. Okay. I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah, the last campfire. Of course, that's a must. People were mad that Sean Murray was on it, but I was just like, whatever.
Who cares, dude? Look, No Man's Sky, dude. Everybody's allowed to have a mistake or two, right?
Yeah,
I get it. I still think a lot of that No Man's Sky thing was Sony's fault.
But I can't say for this. I can't really speak about No Man's Sky. The last campfire, every time we see it, I want this game. I've been wanting to play it. The music in this trailer, I was just like, I need this soundtrack. Like, it may be a nomination for best music for 2020. Like,
it looks like a mix between Journey and Rhyme.
Yeah, I mean the last campfire has been shown in a Nintendo Direct before.
Yeah,
but Sean Murray actually came out and I guess gave it not a release date, but when release expectation when people can expect it. And I was just like watching this trailer and hearing this music, and yes, it's not Ori and the Blind Forest kind of emotion, but there's something about it that gives you a drive that makes you really want to really help out and find out what is this adventure about, and knowing that this is going to come with something that's going to grip you emotionally. I just looked at it and I was just like, if this, I'll get buy it digitally, but if it does get a physical copy and it's $50, I'm paying for the physical. And I hope some way, somehow, I could get a soundtrack to this game if it is top notch. Because, yeah, The Last Campfire, that, regardless of what people think of Sean Murray, like I said, Hello Games really may be bringing out maybe one another, or not another, they may be bringing out a Game of the Year nomination for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, I think it definitely stands out. I think that's kind of the standout for me. That and that Baldo game, like, I've seen it before, right? But I think that and The Last Campfire are definitely the standouts for me in this thing. So definitely some really cool games, some cool soundtracks, some cool, I like a lot of the music in these trailers, even if the games aren't for me. I think a lot of the music is just really relaxing and nice. I would say. I kind of screamed at at the direct when they showed the Blair Witch coming to it. I was like, no, I don't want this questionable content on the system. But if they fix the problems that was on it, we'll see what happens. Yeah. But I just like, no, sir. But overall, those are just some of the games that I definitely enjoyed. Like, I really enjoyed this indie direct, and there's a lot of games that are, if I do get them, they're going to be new to me because it's a new genre for me. But everything, most of the stuff that they show, I was really into. I never played Into the Gungeon, so I didn't pick up Exit the Gungeon. I got to talk to some people about that, and if it comes to where I need to pick it up and try it, I'll pick it up and try it. But yeah, overall, I love this direct. I was just so happy to have a lot of games. The crazy thing is, a lot of this stuff is dropping between summer of this year. So maybe I'm assuming June to August is summer or September. So even if we don't get no big games, there's a lot of great indie games dropping on Switch. And I love the fact that even though a lot of this is time exclusive, it's dropping first on Switch before it comes to anything else. So that's really, really cool. Yeah. Another, not part of indie world, but something that was announced today was that Sea of Stars, which is the game, the top-down RPG from the developer of The Messenger. Did you see that? No, I heard it today. I caught it late, but I didn't get a chance to watch any trailer or anything about it. You need to. This is a game that looks right up your alley, dude. It's a top-down 16-bit RPG in the vein of it looks like Secret of Mana is what it looks like.
Yes, that is my up.
It looks really pretty. Which reminds me, I want to play I need to finish The Messenger too. But this game, when I saw the art and the animations and just the design of the bosses and stuff, it instantly jumped up to the top of something that I'm looking forward to this year for sure. So this is definitely something you need to look at.
Oh yes. Another one that got announced that I'm super happy about, and I'll talk about this with Sunset Riders. It's coming to Arcade Archive.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I'm sure Ed's going to talk about that tonight.
It's unexpected because it was just like how Sony is trying to get certain games from Konami, and then Konami is just like, yeah, we're teaming up with Arcade Archive to release one of our own games, and I was just like, well, why can't you do Turtles?
I know. Well, the thing is like that Turtles license is so just
a mess.
It's we'll say a mess. It's worse than that, but a mess is a nice way to say it.
Yeah, but to me it was unexpected. But I had the Super Nintendo version, and I had the Sega Genesis version. I've never got to beat the arcade version. So having this on my Switch console, I'm like, having Konami release some of their arcade games, I really hope they do more because I want to play Metamorphic Force and I want to play. They had another fighting game that was in the style before Turtles came out, and I cannot think of the name, but they had that same kind of animation and it was their own game and stuff. And yeah, I would just love to see Konami release some of like even some of the Castlevania games, like release some of your arcade ports. It don't have to be the licensed ones, but release some of the stuff that you guys made.
Yeah, I don't understand. Really, honestly,
But yeah,
I don't
but
understand. I don't understand Konami in general, dude. They like refuse to like do anything with their popular old games, but they're doing stuff like, I mean, not that Sunset people don't enjoy Sunset Riders, but it's not Castlevania or Metal Gear, you know, like it's
right.
I don't understand Konami at all. I mean, it's fine, whatever, it's fine. So yeah, anything else you're excited about of all these announcements this week? Because there's quite a few. There were quite a few.
Um, not really. I think that's pretty much it. You know, I once again I gotta look at that other one that you talk about. That you know, it that got mentioned, but I just of course, Animal Crossing. By the time you guys see this, I'll have it.
Yeah.
But and I'll have Eternal Doom for Xbox One. But I can't wait to hear more news about the Switch version.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna wait for the Switch version for that. I still want to finish the first one. I still haven't finished it, and I mean, like I said, the Switch is where I'm going to be playing most of my games for the foreseeable future. So, I've been reformatted my Xbox One to just get rid of all the junk games that I don't play. And it's easier to do that than it is to just delete them for me, because it's just like if I see them there, I'll be like, oh yeah, I'll get to that someday, and then I just won't. I've been trying to do that on my Switch also, but it's it's just easier to just restart everything.
True.
Yeah. So I need to be better about playing games, man. I mean, just like sticking with one game and playing it. I've been jumping around too much, and I just haven't been able to just nail it down. I just need to stick with a game and play it. I was doing so good at the beginning of the year with Gears, and then Hellblade, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then I just fell off the wagon. It is like, I'm tired. I'm going on vacation. I'm tired.
Well, the vacation was definitely deserved.
Yeah, and I'm glad we got to go when we did, because Disney is closed for the foreseeable future. And which is really sad. I see people posting pictures and stuff, because I follow a lot of the those things on Instagram and Twitter and stuff, and it's like people are like, yeah, these are pictures of Disney when people were going, and I'm like, oh, I have those.
Disaster Report 4 demos now on PlayStation 4 and Switch. That's new to me. I didn't even know they was coming.
Yeah, well, it's there. Anyways, all right, Ed. There's a something that has been delayed that I know some people have been looking forward to, but there's an update on the PC Engine Mini, or as many people know it here, the TurboGrafx Mini. It has been delayed indefinitely. But there has been a small update on as of this Wednesday. The Japanese white PC Engine Mini is available to order on PlayAsia. They are in limited stock, so by the time this episode goes up live on podcast feeds, it probably won't be able to get it. But the TurboGrafx 16, which is the American version of this console, has been delayed indefinitely, so due to the coronavirus outbreak. So
It was just super, super sad.
How am I supposed to
Like,
play Bonk, Ed?
I don't know. I was really looking forward to this system.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I know a lot of people were, right? Like I think a lot of people have an affinity for the TurboGrafx 16, and
Hmm.
and this is a lot of those games are still stuck on there, and it's nice to have a little system. Obviously, like the NES and the SNES classics, to have just have all those classic games in one place, and this is one of those things that maybe I would have picked up to try to play some of those games, because I've never played a lot of those. I think I played Bonk once, and like I don't even know what other games are even available on that thing. So what do you remember about TurboGrafx 16? Because I don't remember much.
So I remember a lot of games. Of course, I keep talking about Keep Courage and Alpha Zone, but Ninja Spirit, Bunk 1 and 2, um, Air Bunk. There was like a top down game. For some people, Ease come or YS if you want to look at that. But it also had Rondo of Blood with the TurboGrafx
Right,
CD. Um,
that's the big one, right? Is Rondo of Blood.
yes, yes, and you also had the TurboGrafx handheld game where you could take your games on the go using the same hue card.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I had just the system itself. So Vigilante was a game from IRM. In Japan, it was called Fighting Street, which was Street Fighter 2. It was that name of the series. But there are some bad games. There's one of them that looked like Bruce Lee, where the sprites are so big, like they almost touch your life bar. I can't think of it. It's kind of a basic game for it. Hudson Soft also put some games out. I believe Snatcher also came out for PC in Japan, but not America until it came out on Sega CD, which I didn't realize. But yeah, I remember being a kid having it because I had my Super Nintendo, but I kind of wanted TurboGrafx 16 because I wanted to play Splatterhouse. I wanted to play Bunk. I wanted to play some of these games that weren't on the Nintendo console. Like this was my first foray of stepping out from Nintendo. So and definitely having the controller where you already had the rapid buttons like rapid punch, rapid fire, stuff like that. All you got to do is turn it up to which speed that you want it and hold down the button and go on. Just stuff. So that's kind of some of my memories with it with the TurboGrafx 16. Unfortunately, something happened with my back part where it wasn't reading my TV, and so I couldn't play the system anymore. And I was kind of sad about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably a good reason that thing broke.
Oh.
Just kidding. All right, our last news story before there's something I want to talk about, which we'll get there as the topic of the show, but our last news story, GameStop employees are told to keep stores open because they are, quote, essential businesses amid COVID-19 outbreak. This story started breaking on Twitter, I want to say today.
Yes.
That GameStop, obviously, depending on what part of the country you're in or what part of the world you're in, you are either in quarantine or on lockdown or have some sort of curfew or something, right? Or maybe you're lucky like me and you get to go out and do whatever you want for the time being. But
same here.
GameStop sent a corporate letter to all of their stores nationwide. It says they are, quote, an essential business during the pandemic, citing that games provide provide people to enjoy their time in quarantine. So the letter reads, due to the products we carry that enable and enhance our customers' experience in working from home, we believe GameStop is classified as, quote, essential retail and therefore is able to remain open during this time. They are disregarding people's safety. They are disregarding their employees' safety. You know, they said we're not letting 10 people in the store, more than 10 people in the store at once. Well, have you ever been in a GameStop? You know how close you have to stand to people in a GameStop? Like they're not big stores, you know, at least the ones around here. And you know, I can't even imagine how how small they are in places like New York or Los Angeles or San Francisco or Chicago, right? Like they're probably tiny, because I know how big they are here and they are not big. So I just think, you know, GameStop has really had a negative perception the last few years, right? And this is not helping. You know, I think they had a spark of light when they added Reggie to their board of directors. But this is like, I get that this business is failing to a degree, but like everybody is trying to do what's best for their employees and or you know, humans in general, to keep them alive during this killer virus that's going around. And this is just, I don't know, man. This is not a good look for them, you know.
Well, the thing about it is, some people are trying to argue about why are you mad at GameStop for doing this, or you know, this is a reason why we can get good games. You know, but I'm just like, we have the eShop, we have PSN, we have Xbox Live, we have Game Pass, we have. If you want to include Stadia, okay, go ahead. We have Steam. We have digital games in other ways, and our backlog itself to play games. There's different avenues on way to achieve of getting games. I think what GameStop thinks is that people who don't have that luxury to do it can actually come into our store and be able to find a game and be able to give service. What they don't understand is that the government and the CDC don't want people to leave the house because of this pandemic. Forget all the money, forget, you know, all the interactions and stuff. Your health and your safety is our concern, not you trying to go get a deal or a trade-in for 10 copies of Madden, Destiny, or whatever, so you get Neo 2 or something. That is not important to the CDC. They want people to be safe. And so with this just seems really greedy on GameStop's part. And, you know, we talked, you know, it was mind blowing to see that Reggie and the other two guys be put on board to, you know, steer GameStop in the right direction. But this is not a good, and I don't know if they made this decision or whoever made it or decided to do it. This is not a good example to start off with.
No. For
this company.
No, definitely not. You know, I mean, look, of course, this virus couldn't have hit them at a worse time, right? I mean, they're I mean, they haven't turned a profit in over a year. Like they need the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 to be successes in their stores. You know, for them to even remotely stay alive for a little bit longer. But to just totally disregard your safety. I mean, I get like keeping stores open in places where this virus isn't extremely dangerous yet. Fine, right? Because I mean, like my job is open. Like I'm glad we're open, but I'm also not in an area where there's going to be too many people coming in and out, right? It's just there's everybody. You can account for everybody you come in contact with at work in case something does happen. You say, okay, I interacted with this person, this person, this person, and this person, right? Like you can, if something happened where I work, you can account for stuff and things can be handled, right? there's so many people coming in and out of GameStops because it's a retail location. You don't know where that person's been. You don't know, what if this person comes in and coughs on you or sneezes or, has a fever or something, right? And you paying with cash, transferring that virus via cash or credit card, like just touching things in general is not good. Like it's just dangerous, like don't go out if you don't have to is like the big thing around here right now, right? Like it's one thing I can say about Ohio is our governor has kind of really taken really good steps in, making sure people are safe here and not causing a statewide panic, but still like taking precautions that are, not closing everything at once, not shutting the whole state down, right? Like there's certain businesses that have shut down recently, like restaurants and bars and stuff are only allowed to do carry out or curbside stuff, right?
Yes.
They have temporarily closed barbershops and tattoo parlors and stuff like that. They're like things that aren't really, restaurant would be a dangerous place to go into right now because they seat hundreds of people at a time potentially.
Yes.
And it's GameStop is not essential business. I'm sorry. It is not. Like I love video games just as much as you do, right? And as much as the people listening to this show. GameStop is not essential. I would argue GameStop isn't essential when there's not a crazy virus going around at this point. People download games, people buy them from Walmart because Walmart is selling games at $10 cheaper than everywhere else. Target has sales. People just aren't going to GameStop like they used to. And so I don't know, man. I think them just totally disregarding people's safety is just a really bad look, like I said earlier. And I really hope they come up with a decent
better solution.
A decent way to say, you're right, we made a mistake. We need to close maybe these certain stores. And, I understand people need jobs to and have money and to pay rent and to pay for insurance and all that kind of stuff, but there's got to be that line that you tread carefully, and they are not treading it carefully. So
and with this news, there's going to be a lot of people who don't. Well, after this Animal Crossing sale, we'll see how Final. Well, I can't really say about Final Fantasy. We'll see what Resident Evil and The Last of Us do at this time. But at this time, excuse me about that. People really don't want to support GameStop, but some people are supporting GameStop because they're buying Animal Crossing now, but they really don't want to stop in the GameStop and get stuff.
Right.
They're trying their best to avoid it because, stuff like this, they will put GameStop on the list where people will be like, this is a company I don't want to support, regardless of what game.
Yeah, it's something that I think they really need to reconsider. And I don't think they need to close every store, right? But I think they do need to figure out, okay, this area is bad. Mm-hmm. Like the virus is bad. We need to close stores here. We can keep these stores open and like even have specific hours, like you said that where you work has changed hours based on, keeping people safe. And that's good, right? That's good. That I think GameStop needs to take that approach. So, all right. We're going to move into our topic of the week. Obviously, the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 deep dives were both revealed this week. A lot of confusion about the consoles. Not necessarily it's very clear cut of what's inside these boxes, but what they can actually do, right, is a lot of people are kind of confused on how, a lot of these things are going to work. How's backwards compatibility going to work? PlayStation 5's backwards compatibility has been quite the joke of the last 24 hours at this point. Because this is the quote: most of the 100 top played games will work on PlayStation 5 on launch day. What? Like what? Like don't even do it at that point, right? Like
this is the crazy thing. They first said all generation PlayStation games will play on PlayStation 5.
PlayStation didn't say that. That was a rumor. I
thought Sony mentioned it.
No, they said they were working on. They have a patent that can do that, but they did not put it in the PlayStation 5.
Okay.
Which really boggles my mind that they wouldn't do that, but that's just me. I just really think, when PlayStation built their PlayStation Network and how everything runs through PlayStation Network, they just really didn't plan ahead. Honestly, I think the PSN crash, and what year was that? 2011. I don't remember when that was. But however they rebuilt PlayStation Network after that, they weren't planning ahead. They were just trying to get their system back online, and that has really screwed them over for the future. I really think that Xbox is doing it correctly. I really like the way Xbox is handling their backwards compatible stuff.
Yes.
I think it's really smart what they're doing. I mean, Switch isn't really backwards compatible, obviously, but a lot of the Wii U games and some of the Wii games are available on the system, remastered and whatever. But I just want to talk about, this is also a talking point on Nintendo Life. If you go there, it's really interesting to read and look at, and whatever. It just says jargon heavy Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 reveals vindicate Nintendo's approach. The show don't tell approach, right? Like, there's a lot of confusion about what these new consoles can actually do in terms of performance, power, frame rates, compared to resolution, that kind of stuff. That's still like nobody really knows. I know Digital Foundry did a video, but they're not using next gen games; they're using current gen games, right? With the Xbox Series X, they were using State of Decay 2 and Hellblade, and I think Sea of Thieves was the other game in that demo that they were showing the quick resume, and how those games run off of a SSD drive that's in the console. Like, there's still a lot of confusion because they're not using the new games, and they're not showing you like. We don't even know what the PlayStation 5 or the controller look like yet. We don't even know what they look like. And so, when the Switch was revealed, right, like we saw this with the Wii U, right, where there was a lot of confusion we weren't confused, but the general public was confused. Like, is the Wii U a tablet add-on for the Wii? Is it a new console? What games are you playing on it? Why does it seem not as powerful as Xbox 360 and PS3? Like, there's all those questions. But with the Switch, when they revealed it, they made sure they weren't hitting those mistakes again, right? The
messaging was clear.
The commercial, the very first thing you saw was somebody playing on their couch, them removing the Joy-Cons from the holster, putting it into the Switch on the screen and taking it out of the dock to play it. That was literally the first thing that you saw, and there was no confusion whatsoever. And Nintendo's ingenuity and simplicity, I think, are why people are still talking about the console in a way that they aren't really talking about Series X or PlayStation 5. Yes, people are excited for new tech and new hardware, right? I'm not taking away from that at all. I'm really excited for the Series X. And I'm excited for PlayStation 5 also. But for me, like, the simplicity of the Switch and how they revealed it and the games that are on it and just how simple the messaging was something that you can't really do with these new, like, because Switch isn't trying to be the most powerful console. It's not trying to be the biggest thing. It's trying to.
It wants to be a video game system, a video game console. That's what it's trying to be. That's what it's succeeding in doing. It just don't need too much media stuff where you can have all of this power and stuff, but who's going to be talking about power? Who's going to be talking about, oh man, Gear 6 and the GPUs? Like, you don't hear tech talk in Game of the Year conversations on consoles. You don't hear that. You don't think about teraflops. Who's is Ryan McCaffrey from Unlocked talking about that stuff? No. So why is it important to think that you're going to win people over? Because you're big on your specs and what it could do. That don't mean diddly squat if we're still dealing with frame rate drops, if we still dealing with slowdown, if lip syncing is a problem, if the gameplay is still laggy. We can have all this high power technology, and yet it still wouldn't be able to fix some of the problems. Corey and Jesse got a Xbox One X, and for a powerful machine right there, you got to make two decisions. Do you want resolution, or do you what is it? Resolution or frame rate?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games come with there's sometimes there's three options. There's like performance, which is it's like, I think performance is the frame rate, and then there's true 4K. A lot of them come with true 4K, which drops it to like Rise of the Tomb Raider comes with true 4K performance and resolution, which it's kind of like, okay, here's the highest settings you can have it, where okay, true 4K, the graphics are amazing, but obviously the frame rate's going to take a hit. And then you have like the performance, which the textures drop and whatever, but the frame rate is high. And then there's like this middle ground where it's like, I forget what it's called. I really wish I could remember, but it's like it runs at 1440p 30, but the textures are super detailed in the game. So like it just kind of sits at this middle ground.
Where it should have been, everything is able to run together.
I mean, look, I'm really excited for the power of these consoles, right? Like, I'm excited to play Halo Infinite. I'm excited to play Hellblade. But the reason why I play console games is because I want to plug it into my TV and play it. I don't want to have to choose all these settings. I don't want to have to go through all these things. Like, if I'm going to do that, I might as well just play games on a PC, and I don't want to do that. I just want to plug it into my TV and play. And, I've been playing some, when I'm playing on Xbox, I've been playing, Madden, and I've been playing, NBA 2K20, and I've been playing, games like that. And like, it's just like they're all about like how realistic the players look and how great the graphics are and everything, especially in Madden. I'm like, yeah, but dude, your game still runs like crap. Like, and it's like, I would rather have Madden PS2 gameplay where it plays great and it look worse than, this crap that I'm looking at now. NBA 2K20 runs great. Like, it runs at 60 frames and the graphics are great. Like that, I think 2K20 is the best sports game out there right now, aside from maybe MLB The Show, but I don't really play the show, so I can't really speak to that. But
the thing, and that's the thing that me and Jesse kind of go back and forth on, and me you even had this discussion that this tech stuff, this 4K 60 frames and stuff, yeah, it's trying to lure people in, but it doesn't, to me personally, it doesn't wow me. I want to see what I'm going to actually be experiencing when I have this console. I don't want to experience your cutscenes or what is going to probably be there. I want to see this game actually running. And I think that's why With Nintendo, they want to show you what you're getting. They want to show you that this there going to be some possibilities. And if we delay it, we're going to come out saying that we delaying it because we want to put in more stuff and we want to up-res it or make it look better and everything. And that's what people appreciate about Nintendo. They're showing us what we can expect. So now we have a decision if we're going to put our money there or not. You don't want you Sony and Microsoft don't need Anthem happening to them, where you're talking big but failing to deliver. And some stuff will be passable. Some stuff will be like, yeah, see, it has this. I'm like, yes, but is that for first party? Is that for indies? Is that for third party? Or is that for everybody? Because not everything is optimized the same way. Third parties and indies don't optimize the same way that Microsoft optimizes their games. And of course, you're going to get the best performance out of the first party stuff. But it's going to be a while before a third party even get to that level. And sometimes that's half of the whole console generation. Because they're not going to, because you got all this tech specs. Once the systems come out throughout the years that these games are on the shelves and these systems be available to buy and play, none of that is going to come into play until they release another system. You will never hear another teraflop, another GPU, no 3D audio. You will hear none of that when the games and stuff come out. You know, at least with Nintendo, they be like, hey, and the game has HD Rumble. So when you shake the Pokemon, and they're still marketing HD Rumble. And but they do it so laid back and cool. They're just like, here's a reminder of a functionality that is in the system. Mm-hmm. And they go about their business.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said before, it's not that I don't like these other consoles. I love these other consoles. I love playing Horizon and God of War and Halo and Gears and Ori and all these other great games, right? But like I said, the simplicity that Nintendo offers and where I'm at in my life and how I want to consume games is the Switch has made it so much easier for me to do all of that, you know, and it's like I said, it's not a knock against the other consoles, but it's just so much easier to just plug my Switch in and play it instead of waiting for an update, waiting for this game to update, downloading a new gig patch, like updating all these things where like when I go to play my Switch, everything's, for the most part, I mean, The Witcher had a pretty big patch and some of the third-party games get pretty decent-sized patches, but like Zelda works, you know, Fire Emblem works. Mario works, you know, all these games just work. Yoshi's Crafted World works. Captain Toad works. Like it all just works. And there's little to no loading. There's little to no frame rate hiccups. There's little to no, like there's never any bugs. It's just it's just the system that is that I think that's why the system is selling so well too, because you look at when you go to the store, like it is like, I know there's two SKUs of the Switch, right? But like it's really simple to look at. Okay, this one obviously comes with a dock, so it plays on your TV. This light, oh, okay. You know, you turn it over, it says does not plug into your TV. Okay, well, this is a handheld only one, right? It's not like when you go and there's an Xbox One S and an Xbox One X and an Xbox One All Digital Edition, or the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 4 Slim, PlayStation 4 Pro. Like, what do all these different letters and words mean, right? Like, I mean, I think it's pretty simple to, you know, look at the Switch and the Switch Lite and you can see the difference, right? Like I think it's easier to tell the difference between the Switch and the Switch Lite than it is between an Xbox One S and an X. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just think I think the more complicated these new consoles become, the more the harder it is to really, like, for grandparents or parents buying their kids games that they maybe don't understand, or you know what I mean, like it's just harder to know what console you're buying, and I think that's another issue that hopefully that these consoles don't face, only having one SKU. And I kind of hope that the Xbox only has one SKU to launch, because I think if they do have two SKUs, it's going to cause even more confusion, especially because you're going to have the Xbox Series X and the Xbox One X for at least one holiday sitting next to each other on the shelf.
Yes, and you got to think of. So this is the thing about it. Both Sony and Microsoft are going different ways with their product. We see how Microsoft is going with their hard drive data and all of that. They have a priority. I think SSD. I think that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sony has that, still doing the external, is up to you and everything. So you have different things that will separate or differentiate for them. None of that stuff, once again, won't matter if the games are not there. And you could have all this big tech talk, but with Nintendo, at least you know that there are some great games that's coming. Hopefully I get a good Nintendo Direct or a great Nintendo Direct, and I want to see what continues to come to the system before its life cycle is over with, and people are still going to be carrying their Switch, still going to be wanting to play those games and everything, and who knows what's going to happen with the future, because if Nintendo was such a tech heavy company and talk tech and stuff,
mm-hmm.
I think they would still be able to blow out Microsoft and Sony combined, because they think innovative on how they approach games and how to control them and play them. And Microsoft and Sony, they're still adding all of this big power, but they're still using the basic formula of a video game console. They're not advancing. They're not evolving themselves to feel different, to feel like I really need to play an Xbox One. No, I can just play it on PC. I really need to play a PS4. No, I can still play PC.
Yeah.
You can't do the stuff that you do on the Nintendo console, you cannot do on a PC. I personally feel.
Yeah, I mean,
because nobody. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, there's nothing like the Switch out there, I mean, I know Alienware is kind of testing that handheld PC, but it's gonna be way more than the Switch, obviously. But like the
there was nothing like the. Oh, I'm sorry. There was nothing like the Wii U and the Wii when those systems came out. Don't forget, everybody at that time been trying to copy off Nintendo, and still to this day is trying to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that speaks about tech, and that speaks about Nintendo being ahead of the curve over everybody else. But go ahead, Corey. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, I think the Switch benefits from the what I call the Netflix effect, where like it's convenience over like what's the best out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of tech, and I think like I said, the more complicated these consoles become, and the streaming services that come off of them, and how it all works, and people having to look stuff up online and figure out how, okay, well, the cloud, xCloud is going to work like this. You can stream from your console or the cloud, yada yada yada. Like, again, with the Switch, I know it's not xCloud, and it's not this powerful technology that you can take anywhere with you, right? But like, the simplicity of it is that the games are already in your hand and on your TV, right? And I know that the other consoles and everything are trying to use the cloud as like their version of what the Switch is, right? But like, you're still never going to have that. I mean, you will one day, but it's still like not as complicated, I want to say, as
Yes.
the way Nintendo has handled it. And like, I hope Nintendo runs with the Switch for a decade. You know, like I think the Switch is an ingenious idea. I think it's smart, and I hope whatever
Yeah.
they do next is like just the same thing but better. You know, you know,
Right.
like
And oh,
go,
I'm not. I was going to add just like to me personally, I don't feel like Nintendo is lazy. They don't think about power. They think of what's efficient, what they with what they're giving, what can they do with it, and what will make you think outside the box. Like I said earlier, I feel like Wii and Wii U doing the same thing, almost like Switch, and those two combining together to become what the Switch is today, regardless if it was successful or not. Up to that individual, Nintendo, which is like we want to change the way that you play games and approach games. We just don't want you sitting on the couch just playing something.
right.
Cause
Look at Ring Fit Adventure. Right, that thing's been
still selling out.
that thing's been sold out, and like Nintendo had to issue an apology because they keep selling out, and we're like, we literally can't keep up with demand. And I know a lot of that has to do with production lines in China and stuff, which
Yeah.
you know, but still, like, who thought that game was going to be as popular as We Fit, right? Like, this is just like you said, new ways to play games, new ways to like be active and try new things and everything. It's interesting. It's really fascinating to watch Nintendo have this huge resurgence, and not even just like a resurgence in the game space, but like a resurgence in how people interact, you know, and you know, like, I mean, 1-2 Switch was stupid, right? But I mean, so many people played that game at like parties. Like,
Yeah.
it became like a really big, like a party game, like college dorm room party game, you know, or like a lot of people use it as drinking games and stuff. But like,
Dude, people are taking advantage of the regional free ability that's in Switch. All three consoles do it. Why no one is doing it for Xbox and PlayStation? Most people who have a Switch, or some people who have a Switch who know how to do it, is taking advantage of it. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah,
You know, and Microsoft and Sony, they stated on, yeah, our systems are region free. And we was wondering, well, would Nintendo do the same thing? Yep, they did it. And people are taking more advantage of that. So it's just like, you can have the biggest stuff and the best stuff, but if it's too familiar and you don't understand the numbers, and if you want to use your
I mean,
fanboyism,
that's exactly
you
what
can.
it is, right? Is familiar, especially like, I mean, Xbox has diversified a lot in the last few years, but like, we talk a lot about this when we talk about PlayStation, right? Every single one of their games is a dark, kind of gritty, over the shoulder third person action game, right? Like, a lot of them are, right? Like Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, Uncharted, though it's not really dark, but it's still a third person over the shoulder action game. God of War, Horizon, The Order, Infamous, right? These are all third person action games that don't really change a lot. You know, like, as much as I love a lot of those games, like, I mean, third person action game is kind of I mean, I don't know, man. And I mean, I like a lot of third person action games, right? Like Tomb Raider is a big one for me. I love Horizon. I love Gears, right? But like, it's just, there's a lot on PlayStation that is the same. And you look at Nintendo, right, in terms of, okay, you know, you got Mario, you got Zelda, you got, you know, assuming Metroid Prime 4 is going to be a first person shooter ish game, right? Like, you got that. You have Mario plus Rabbids, you have Luigi's Mansion, you have Captain Toad. Like, look how different all these games are.
Yeah.
So,
It's I understand what Microsoft and Sony is doing. It's great that they gave these tech specs to us, but I really do hope that, even though you're talking about this, we really want to see this stuff in action. Nintendo has already, once they revealed the Switch and they had their conferences and they talked more about it, they literally show what is coming to the system, what can be done with it, many ways of what you play, and in the future, what you can expect from it. People went from, oh, it's another Nintendo kid toy. It went from laughing at the system to being one of the best systems. I think even Time magazine gave it an award. Like it's one of the best systems that people are still buying and talking about and hoping that certain games are coming. It has changed the way that we have looked at indie games because we now want physical versions of them. It has changed how we got into import gaming, whether we're doing it digital or physical. And it really brings people in that when power and graphics don't matter, but the execution is good enough that it surprises you and it grabs your attention that you want to keep doing it. That's a story of success. And I'm not saying that Sony and Microsoft can't do that, but I feel like personally they'll never have that success that Nintendo has done or has had an experience. Yes, Microsoft has changed online experiences. Sony has made a comeback with PS4 from the problems of PS3. But Nintendo has been through all of that. It has came out the way that they came out. And people still talk about and need Nintendo's products. If Xbox go away or PlayStation go away, we still have PC. Mm-hmm. But we'll never have that Nintendo experience on those consoles. Mm-hmm. And regardless of what the tech is, that experience we'll never get.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really wish that Mark Cerny, he's very passionate, very intelligent, a great person, probably a very cool person to meet. He's very educated, really knows what he's doing, how he's designing a console for Sony. But it doesn't matter if there's no visuals or nothing to showcase what you're talking about. We need, and for a lot of people, we need visual examples because all of us are not tech heads who know a lot of stuff about PCs and GPUs. We don't take classes like that in school. It's not something that is a requirement for us to learn. So if Microsoft and Sony want to be able to talk about tech and what's going to be in their systems, they need to show more and better visuals. It's cool that what Microsoft is doing, but everything in their digital foundry has been gains from backwards compatibility, has been gains that we know there's going to be a difference because the system is powerful enough to run them at a different rate. Show me Halo Infinite. Show me Gears 6. Show me Forza. Show me something that's very next gen that's going to be on the systems to prove all of those numbers working and really showcase that power of the system. Because if you're not showing me that, it doesn't matter what garbled mess that you're talking about. I don't see the difference. I don't see none of it. It's just running something at a better rate, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, I think I can say that we obviously love the Switch a whole lot, and yeah, maybe we're a little biased, but I just thought it was interesting to discuss. As these new consoles become more complicated, it's nice to have something, as simple as the Switch, and how it was revealed and everything was so simple, and there's been a lot of confusion and just everybody breaking down and Digital Foundry doing 25 to 30 minute videos on these consoles and everything, and it's just like, the Switch did it all in like a minute and a half commercial, and just, you know, I don't know, man. It's going into its fourth year. I still think the Switch is definitely the. I mean, regardless of the way I find myself in situations playing games, I still think the Switch is. I mean, it's definitely my favorite Nintendo console in years, and I, you know, it's definitely my favorite console this generation, or however you want to call the Switch. I know technically the Wii U is part of the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 generation, but you know what I mean. Like
I mean, and I agree 500% with you. I disagree with nothing that you are saying.
I just don't think I'm going to stop playing the Switch when Xbox Series X comes out. Obviously, you know, I mean, judging on how this, you know, coronavirus stuff pans out and how we get everything situated and everything, I don't even know if I'll be getting one of the new consoles this year. You know, just because we are really kind of trying to pinch pennies right now because of this. But you know, it's the Switch has been just a lifesaver in so many different situations. So anyways, that's going to do it for this episode of Nintendo Pow Block. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. We'll get to your questions next week on Question Block. You can email the show at nintendopowblock@gmail.com so we can read your questions on air. Also, remember, we're giving away Animal Crossing in 3 weeks, so you can get those entries in, like we said at the top of the show. Yeah, and we hope you enjoyed this kind of laid-back episode. Like I said, it's been kind of a weird week for both of us, and I'm sure all of you out there who are listening have had some sort of interesting week. Yes. I mean, this coronavirus is clearly not slowing down, so like I said, we want to be there for you. We want to provide you with some content and provide you with some podcasts that, you know, we'll get you through a couple hours of your week. So, anyways, Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode. You can check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud and other podcast apps. And everybody, really just look out for your people. You know, send some encouragement. You know, you guys talk on social media. Keep. Even though we're social distancing ourselves, keep in touch with people who really would like to have someone to talk to.
Yeah, and social distancing doesn't necessarily mean staying away from people, like through social media. And that, I mean, that's a you know, we were kind of talking about how cumbersome technology can be, but it's also a good thing, right? I mean, I wouldn't know Ed without technology, and this is a way that, you know, we can hang out without having to, like, you know, breathe or cough on each other. You know what I mean? I just look, everybody out there, you can find me at I am Corey and HD on Twitter and Instagram, and at Corey and HD on Mixer. But before we go, just remember, everybody, just be safe, be smart, just, you know, look out for everybody, and if you can help fight this virus, or if you can, you know, just stay, you know, just be safe and take care of your families, and look out for your friends and everything. Just be, you know, I mean, that's kind of what our motto is on Boss Rush Games, is play games and be better. Just, you know, make sure you're being good to people out there. And this is going to be a rough one for us all for a while, it seems like. So just, everybody, let's just stick together and band together and play some games together and have fun together, and try to, you know, take our minds off of this weird situation that we are going to find ourselves in for the next few, hopefully just a few months. You know, I've heard longer, I've heard shorter. Just, you know, everybody out there, be safe.
Yes.
And, you know, reach out to us. We enjoy having good conversations. So
yes. And with that, everybody, I guess we'll see you next time, Nintendo Pow Block. Correct, Corey?
Yeah, it's trying to end the show for some reason. I see how it is. No.
Well, you stopped the boss. So
no, I know. I just, you know, everybody be safe, and we will see you next week.
Bye, everybody. Woo-hoo.